Now, we're exploring a powerful topic that's redefining the way businesses grow and thrive, empowering entrepreneurs through technology. Now, in an increasing digital world, technology offers unprecedented opportunity for innovation, access to markets, and resource efficiency. We'll discuss how entrepreneurs can harness these tools to turn their ideas into successful ventures, overcome challenge, and contribute to economic development. My guest today is a visionary entrepreneur, the Chief Operating Officer of Peacegate Fashion School and Memshare Fabrics. I hope she will correct me at the end of the day if I actually made mistake in my pronunciation. And she's also a passionate advocate for empowering aspiring entrepreneurs through technology and education. My guest is Merilyn Abioye. Ayoleke. We can't leave Ayoleke out of it. There's a reason why. Thank you for joining me on the show, Merilyn.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, because of time, let's head straight to our question. Now, Can you tell us about your journey into entrepreneurship and what inspired you to start in the first place?
All right. So, growing up, I wanted to be a career person. I wanted to be a career person. But along the line, life happened, a lot happened. And I discovered that I had this flair. I wanted to do business. I wanted to buy. I wanted to sell. So at some point, I got ill. And then after I recuperated, I could no longer do office work. So this is how I entered into entrepreneurship, actually, yes.
Yeah, and you're someone within the fashion space already.
Yes.
Now, how do you see technology transforming the fashion industry, especially in emerging markets like Nigeria?
Okay, so technology is the future for fashion. Now, in areas like fashion shows, we see 3D fashion displays.
Yes.
You don't have to go online. You don't have to go. Sorry, you don't have to go through the main live shows. You can actually display your collection via 3D.
Yeah.
And when it also comes to designs, you know, before we're doing the traditional freehand method, we are now doing pattern drafting.
Yeah.
And now we can also do our patterns through the use of AI and technology. So because of this, it has made fashion easier. If you go to places like China, now China has capacity because of technology advancement, which we don't have here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But we are gradually getting to this place, but we are still way behind because we are not really ready. We have not really embraced technology. But you see, in places like China, they can produce 20,000, 30,000 outfits. What am I talking about? 100,000 outfits in a day. This is because of technology, right? So you see, when it comes to drafting, cutting, every area, even joining, there are some factories that use robots now.
Oh, really?
Yes, robots for our production. So you can't compare robot power to human power, right? So for Nigeria, I think we can start gradually, right? How do we start? Bringing in technology gradually into the way we do things. First, there must be regulation of the fashion industry. There's no regulation. In Nigeria, there is zero regulation for the fashion industry currently.
Okay. Now, you're someone who heads a fashion school, the Peacegate Fashion School, here in Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
Now, what role does innovation play in your approach to running the fashion school and maybe other entrepreneurial ventures which you are involved in?
Okay, so for Peacegate Fashion, what we do is, for those who come to learn, we have gone out of the traditional way of teaching, which is people come in, they watch you how you cut and sew. So we're introducing them into everything that they need to know from the scratch.
Okay.
Today we see a lot of half-baked tailors. In fact, it's a big problem.
You call them half-baked?
Yes, I say half-baked because somebody can sew corsets, but they don't have the basic foundation of sewing. There are some basic outfits. When you see it really technical, they can make it. It's corset. Everybody wants to do corsets, but corset is not everything there is about fashion. So at Peacegate, we start from the scratch, and we also integrate IT and AI. You know, into the way we teach. So yes. So what we try to do is teach our incoming students not just fashion. We teach them the business of fashion. They also teach them how to use technology, apps like Telonova and the rest of them. There are free apps, there are paid apps that can make your job easier. So we introduce this to our students. It's it's integrated in our learning process.
Okay, now you're someone who is an entrepreneur, and I wouldn't say you're just running the Peacegate Fashion School. You have the Memshare Fabric. I've known you for some years. You do different things. Now, how do you juggle multiple industries? How do you prioritize and manage your time effectively?
That's a very tough one.
Yeah, because it's important for us to find out. Yes, a mother.
Yes, as a mother. If I currently, as I speak, my family is in Ibadan. I'm in Port Harcourt. So, planning. Again, technology comes to play because we have apps. I can schedule my time. I can schedule my activities. I know what I want to do here. I know what I want to do here. I can also delegate. You know, I have apps where, okay, for the fabric business, people can just go online, order for fabrics and have it delivered, even whether I am there or not.
Okay.
So it's like a seamless process. You place the order, you pay. Somebody is there to fulfill your order and send it to you, whether I am there or not. So basically planning, right? Planning is the key. Yes, setting goals and then following those goals.
Okay, now, what are those challenges, or would I say, what are the biggest challenges you have faced in integrating technology into your business, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, so technology is a bit on the expensive side, I would say that. So integrating it into the business, we are starting gradually, you know, from small. So our machines, most of our machines are computerized machines. That's us integrating technology. In content creation, we also try to, you know, use AI. AI is not, you know, a lot of people say it's dull people that use AI. I would like to correct that. It takes a lot of intelligence to be able to use AI in whatever industry you find yourself. So as a fashion industry, we also use AI to check trends, to check opportunities, to check markets, and know how we will now create our content and then channel it towards the people that we are targeting. So we use social media. You know, that's part of tech, that's part of AI to, you know, push our brand forward. It's a relatively new brand. A relatively new brand. So we're doing all that we can, even as we're integrating technology, to grow the brand.
Now, let me ask you this question. How important is it for young entrepreneurs to embrace digital literacy today? And what advice would you give those just starting out in terms of entrepreneurship?
In fact, digital technology is very, very important because now there are some jobs that are going to go extinct at some point because of digital innovation and growth. Now, as entrepreneurs who are starting out in whatever industry you find yourself, you must be able to use digital innovations to help yourself to grow. So there's no need running from it because it's the future. No matter where you find yourself, even though you're cooking, you're sewing, whatever it is you're doing, technology is there. So for those who are just starting up, I would say master social media platforms, master AI, master all these platforms that you can use for your industry. For some industries, it's drawing. For some industries, it's writing. For some industries, it's speaking. And you can integrate AI and technology into all of these things intelligently. Now,
how do you leverage social media and digital platforms to grow your brand and influence?
Okay, so for one, we use it to sell. We have an e-commerce platform. We have a website. We use it to reach out to our customers. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And so we're also exploring other channels, you know, of reaching out. But for us, these are the ones that resonate with us and that we know that we can find our targets, markets and audiences. So these are the ones we use the most. We share content, videos, audios. These are all the ways that, you know, we are trying to push the brand and integrating technology into all of what we do.
Now, what emerging technologies do you believe will have the biggest impact in fashion and entrepreneurship, let's say, in the next 5 years?
Emerging technologies. Right, there are a lot of them, so it will be really difficult to say. But when it comes to the area of show business, now what do I mean by show business? Like runway shows. Runway shows, there's going to be a lot of innovation for runway shows. You know, most runway shows is physical.
Yeah.
People have to attend physically.
Yeah.
But now with the coming, now that 3D has come in, and a lot of all these other audio visual AI apps are now here and there. So the fashion industry can leverage on this. For people who want to do shows, people who want to go into modeling.
Yeah.
There is this article, when you articulate, the AI copies you and then can project that. Even your clothes, you can actually display clothes without having a model wear them. Yes, you can do your designs. A Kenyan designer was the first person that did it, and a South African also followed.
That's really innovative, actually.
Yes, so you can actually do those displays, showcase your designs. You can use it when you have international clients who want to make clothes from you. You don't have to start drawing or doing video. Even just that 3D display alone shows them exactly what you want to do from start to finish. So that is one of the places that fashion is going to, and it will also help us when it comes to production. Yes, because some of these machines are becoming more complex. More complex. Every year we have better ones that makes production easier. So definitely the fashion industry is going to grow, and I pray that here in Nigeria we'll be able to tap into this and also grow as well.
Yeah, now let me ask you this question, because it's key for those who are listening to us right now, particularly the entrepreneurs, because a lot of them we're already tuning in or watching us live on Facebook at Today FM 95.1, Today 95.1 FM. For those who are listening to us, you can watch us live on Facebook, Today 95.1 FM. Now, this question, in your opinion, what are the key skills an entrepreneur needs to succeed in a tech-driven world like this?
In a tech-driven world, one, you need resilience. Why do I say resilience? Because a lot of things are going to come your way, right? So when those things come your way, you need to be resilient enough to stay and to learn. Now, we also need a lot of creativity. With digital technology and innovation and growth comes creativity. Now, when you see some apps, you begin to wonder, how did this person come about it? A lot of creativity. We also need a lot of intelligence too, right? Because there are some apps you see, if you're not an intelligent person, they won't put everything out there. Right? You need a bit of intelligence to be able to navigate the apps and be able to use them and be able to even apply it to yourself. So we need a lot of resilience. You need to be courageous. You need to be strong. You need to be a creative person. You need to have intuition, right? Why do I say intuition? You need to be intuitive because there are things you see. You don't need someone to tell your mind. You just move with the flow because you are intuitive, and then it's easy for you to catch stuff.
Now, let's talk about certain strategies or innovations you use at the Peace Gate Fashion School. Now, how do you foster innovation and creativity with your team and the students who you have at the Peace Gate Fashion School? Okay,
so for the team, right, even though we have a series of SOPs, like standard operating procedure that we follow, we also allow the team to contribute, right, because nobody's an island, nobody knows it all. So sometimes we come together, we brainstorm for collections, for some of the things that we want to do, we come together, we brainstorm, even though we have like a set down rule that this is how it must go, but it's not written in stone. So someone can also contribute and say, okay, why not? Let's do it like this or do it like this. And at the end of the day, you see that we come out with better results. For the students, we also carry them along and encourage them to go back on their own to do a bit of research outside what has been taught. Yes. So they are given assignments. Okay. And so these assignments help them broaden their scope on these topics, because if you leave some students, it's what you teach them in class, and that's it. And for fashion, you cannot learn everything. It's just the truth. You can't learn everything. In the real world, there are also opportunities out there. There are knowledge that you need to get. So we give you assignments. Go online, go to so-and-so channels, go to so-and-so platforms, do this, do that, and then you come back to class, and then we sit together and discuss as a group, and then we brainstorm and also listen to their own ideas, and then.
What advice would you give? You know, there are people who combine skills, education, and tech together.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to maybe aspiring entrepreneurs who want to combine education, fashion, and tech? What advice would you give them?
Education, fashion, and tech.
Yeah.
Like, you mean them schooling and then doing fashion? At
Yes,
the same time?
there are people who want to be fashion designers.
Yes.
They also are students who are chasing a career, you know, while studying in school.
Okay.
And they also are involved in tech. So how would you advise them to be able to manage the three of them together?
Okay, so schooling is a serious venture. Fashion is a serious venture. Tech is a serious venture. So for people like this, what I would advise is focus a bit on education, right? For fashion, you could become a middleman instead of becoming a producer or somebody who is directly involved in the process. So you can become like a middleman between a fashion house and the consumer, right? You could leverage e-commerce platforms, you know, to sell. You could leverage e-commerce platforms to promote products or promote services of a particular fashion house or firm that you're like you resonate with their values while you are schooling, so that it doesn't, you know, tamper with your education. And this is where tech comes in.
Yeah.
The e-commerce platforms, most of them are tech-based. An example is a Bumper. I'm not trying to run an advert for them, but Bumper is a very good one that can help you control your activities. You post your items, you sell, people buy whether you are there or not, and then the people who are producing can fulfill your order to your customers. So it depends on the area. You could be a stylist, right? You could be a wardrobe organizer. All these are still in the fashion line. You could be a bag maker, you could be a shoe maker, you could be doing perfumes. These are all in the fashion ecosystem. So as a student, look for the least tasking part, right? And then use tech to make it easy. You can batch create content and then just schedule it. With Facebook business suite, you can batch create content, schedule the hour, the time, the day it will post. These are ways that you can, and while you're in class, content is, you know, being put on your platform through the use of technology, because you are scheduled. So it's possible. I've seen people who started Starch Beddings. She started in school and she took it to camp. And through the use of technology, she was able to grow her brand. So for students, for those who are just starting, using technology is a no-brainer. It's very important. In fact, it's part of the ways to succeed, so that one does not suffer.
Now, as let's look at it from your experience.
Okay.
Now, as a woman entrepreneur, what has influenced your approach and leadership style as a woman entrepreneur?
All right. As a female entrepreneur, one thing I've noticed is there's a lot of disrespect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of disrespect once you're a woman. So for leadership style, I'm someone that I can joke with you, I laugh with you. I'm a jovial person, but once it gets to work, the work has to be done. We stand on business, because what I've discovered is when you are too lenient, people take you for granted. Yeah. When you are too wicked or you are too harsh, people are not able to express themselves. You know, so the environment is like a cordial environment. People know when I'm joking and people know when I'm serious, because I've been in a place where I joked a lot and then they took me for granted, like she can't do anything. So now when it's time to joke, we joke. When it's time for work, we work. And then the work environment is cordial. We try as much as possible to make the staff comfortable, right, at work. Cater to their needs. Those who are not feeling fine are made to go back and rest. But you don't take advantage of the system just because you feel your boss is a woman and you can do whatever you like. There are rules, there are consequences. And so when you do what you're not supposed to do, the consequence is stated in the staff handbook that's given to you. So when you do what you're not supposed to do, if you have been warned once, twice, third time, the fourth time, we are letting you go. Yes, so that the system can continue. Because there's this thing about letting people do what they want. Before you know, they infect the others.
Yeah.
And then it becomes an anarchy.
Yeah.
Even you, the boss, may not be able to control
things
anymore. Yes.
Yeah. Now, Peacegate Fashion School.
Yeah.
What is your future plan for it in terms of your long and medium-term plan for Peacegate Fashion School? Because as the Chief Operating Officer, a lot of people would expect that it's supposed to yield results and all that. And so that's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
Knowing how technology, just like we have been discussing now, has influenced the fashion industry, what do you think, or what is your plan or your future plan for Peacegate Fashion School in the coming years?
All right. So in Nigeria, we have a shortage of professional fashion institutions.
Yes.
We have a very serious shortage. So the long-term plan for Peacegate is to have a school, a very professional one, like the likes of the ones we have in France and other parts of the world, where people come to learn fashion professionally, like learn everything that is needed to learn. Right, so we hope to have a fashion university per se.
Oh, really?
Yes,
that'll
with
be interesting.
Campuses and hostels
around Nigeria.
Yes, yes, here in Nigeria.
Are you sure I will not come and sign up?
Maybe. Yeah, so that's the plan, and so we are starting gradually.
Yeah,
but that is the plan. Register with government. In fact, we are looking at a situation where students can write JAMB and come and get admission to study fashion in the school, because fashion is underrated.
Yeah,
it's seriously underrated. If you look at the most what's the language now? The most profitable businesses in the world, fashion is there. Louis Vuitton, they are one of the biggest earners. They earn more than oil and gas and real estate. They're in fashion. People like Coco Chanel.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to build. I remember somebody saying the Indians are praying for Nigerian fashion industry not to get it. That the day Nigeria gets it, many of their factories will close down because we are very intelligent people.
Yeah.
But the problem now is the right infrastructure, the right systems, the right structure is not available. So this is where Peacegate comes in. We are trying to build a system, an educational system that teaches fashion, not just trending fashion, but actually teaching people what it is to be a fashion designer, to go into fashion, to run a fashion business. Because it's one thing to have the fashion skill. It's another thing to be able to run the business, the fashion, as a business, to be able to be profitable. So these are all the things we are going. We have a robust curriculum as it is even currently. Okay. Yeah.
My final question to you, I just hope you can answer this question in 2 minutes.
All right.
Now, my question to you is, we are talking about skills for younger people and young ones as they are coming up. And we are heading into the holiday season. I had a guest last week and 2 weeks ago telling us about some skills young people can learn. You're talking about the fashion industry. What are your plans of helping develop young people this holiday season, considering the fact that you're operating a fashion school? How do you intend to develop them this holiday season?
Okay, so for the holidays, so one of the plans we have is to have like a fashion boot camp.
Oh, that's interesting.
A fashion boot camp where children can come and learn the very basics of fashion. And then we'll be able to teach them not just skills, but also teach them fashion terminologies. There are a lot of wrong fashion terminologies in the country.
Yeah.
Teach them right fashion terminologies, teach them the different kinds of fashion, and then we should be able to integrate tech into this learning. So by doing that, we'll be able to use some of the apps, for creating styles and the rest of them to teach these children. These are some of the programs that we're planning for the holiday.
Okay, for those who would, there are a lot of questions on my WhatsApp now for people asking about you. Now, what is the social media handle that they can reach you out, maybe to ask for that question? Because there are a lot of entrepreneurs who say they have further questions to ask. What are the social media handles that they can reach out, whether your Peacegate or you, to ask more questions?
Okay, so they can follow me on Facebook, Merilyn Abioye Ayoleke on Facebook. You can follow me and send your questions to me directly. You can also follow us on Instagram, Peacegate Fashion 1. Peacegate Fashion 1.
So they can send questions there too?
Yeah, they can send questions there too. And then also follow me on Instagram, Merilyn Ayoleke on Instagram. Yes, and send all your questions. I'm available to answer them.
Merilyn Ayoleke Abioye, I hope I just got it right. The Chief Operating Officer of Peacegate Fashion School, and also Memshire Fabrics. Yes, that's the one I knew first before the Peacegate.
Fabrics. We sell fabrics, beautiful fabrics.
Because of time, we just have to go. Thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you very much for having us.
So, folks, that's the show for this week.